The Russian president suggests that this regional conflict now has global elements, and the British are talking about fighting the Russian tonight if needed. IRBMs are being fired into Ukraine, and Ukraine is firing US and British missiles into Russia. So you are accusing Russia of escalating, they are accusing you back of escalating, but one thing is for certain, that things are escalating. Where do you think this is headed towards? Because many countries are very much concerned that hundreds of millions of people are going to be impacted by what could actually unfold. So where do you think this is headed to?
Well, I'll say something that we've said from the beginning is that we don't seek a wider regional conflict. We don't seek war with Russia. And I think we've been pretty clear about that from this podium and from this administration. What we are going to do, though, and what we have made clear in public channels and in private channels, is that we're not going to stand for another country invading its neighbor. And we're going to continue to support Ukraine in its fight. And I think it's important to remember that this isn't a secret. This was known from the very beginning. We warned Russia, back in 2022, not to do this. And they did it anyways. And so there are consequences for that. But we don't want to see this escalate into a wider regional conflict. We don't seek war with Russia. But absolutely, you're going to see like-minded allies and partners come together to support Ukraine. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
If I could ask one more follow-up. I know that you say that you don't want a wider war,
Sure,
and that you don't want it to escalate, but it looks like it is kind of escalating from both sides.
U.S. forces aren't in the fight. You don't see, the only other foreign country that's been brought into this fight is North Korean soldiers on the battlefield. But you're not seeing, U.S. fighters on the ground. And that's not the intention of this administration.
You're right. You're saying that Russia invaded Ukraine. That's correct. You're saying that North Korean soldiers were brought into the battlefield. That's correct.
Yeah.
I'm not looking into who's right, who's wrong, but the fact is that things are escalating and other countries are getting dragged into this. So what I'm saying is that, are you concerned that this escalation is accelerating at a speed that no one would really like?
I think we're always going to be concerned by the reckless rhetoric coming out. We are certainly concerned by the escalatory moves and acknowledging your point that Russia is making when it comes to employing DPRK forces on the ground. We acknowledge that is escalatory, and that would be met with a response. And that's what we're working with Ukraine on and continuing to support them on the battlefield. But to your larger question of, escalation and bringing in countries into the fight, I'll make it very clear again, we don't seek war with Russia. That's not our intention, but we absolutely are going to support Ukraine, and that's been something that the president has been very clear about since day one. Charlie.
Thank you, Sabrina. You said the United States was notified. Was that a matter of days, hours, or minutes about this missile? In his remarks today, Putin said that U.S. defense systems are incapable of intercepting these weapons anyway. How much of a threat do they pose? And second question, there are reports today that a North Korean general may have been injured. Can you confirm that they've engaged in combat, or confirm that report?
I can't confirm the report on a North Korean general officer, I think you said, being injured in the battlefield. But that being said, where they are positioned, they are absolutely fair target, and we absolutely expect them to be engaged in the fight, but I can't independently confirm those reports. I've seen them. In terms of, Putin's comments on our force posture or our defense systems, I'm just not going to get into that. But what I can tell you is that, again, we're going to continue to support Ukraine with what it needs to be successful on the battlefield. And I think you asked about the pre-notification. We were pre-notified briefly before the launch, but I'm just not going to get into more specifics than that.
Does this weapon, experimental or not, he suggests that there are more of them, and he intends to use them, and he will warn, as he has done. Do they pose a real and present threat in this conflict?
Any weapon that's going to be employed on the battlefield absolutely imposes a threat to the Ukrainians. And that's why, this was, as we said, an experimental intermediate range ballistic missile. It's certainly concerning that they are employing it on the battlefield. But again, Ukraine has withstood countless attacks from Russia, including missiles with significantly larger warheads than this weapon. So we're going to continue to support Ukraine with what it needs. Janie.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. A few questions about Russia, North Korea, and Ukraine. First question, North Korea announced that it will send 100,000 more troops if the soldiers it dispatches die in the Ukraine war. And also President Zelensky said that up to 100,000 North Korean troops would dispatch it in the battle. How would you react to that?
So we're not tracking that 100,000 North Korean troops have been sent to Russia or to fight in this war. What we are tracking and our assessments is that there's probably over 11,000 DPRK soldiers that are in the Kursk region. And as I said on Tuesday, could there be more that get sent to the battlefield? Absolutely. Something that we're going to continue to monitor. But right now our assessment is that it's approximately 11,000 or over 11,000, I should say, in the Kursk region.
It is known that the North Korean military is participating in battles by joining the Russian Marine Corps and airborne troops. Also, the video shown in Ukraine reported that several North Korean soldiers were killed and injured. Does the U.S. have any information on the number of North Korean casualties and injuries?
Similarly to what Charlie asked, I just can't confirm reports that they've started to engage in battle. I've seen the public reporting out there that a general officer was wounded, but again, I can't confirm it. Do we expect these soldiers to be brought into the fight? Yes, absolutely. They are in Kursk for a reason. But I just can't confirm those reports that are circulating right now. We'll certainly keep you updated on that.